Welcome to our Red, White, and You podcast. Tommy Daniels here. Pleased to be joined by the defensive specialist for your Allen Americans. And it's funny, I don't know if your parents or your families told you, we talk about you a lot and how good you are defensively. And I'll go back to a play you made the other night. Boucher is one of their better skaters. And I remember you coming through and cutting off the play where he couldn't get to the puck. And it's just like, hey, yeah, he gets it. He plays the man, not the puck, knowing that if he can't get to the puck, he's not going to get to it. And we love watching you play, Ben. I mean, you do a great job every night. I don't think you get enough accolades for what you do. Is that enough pumping in the tires for you?
I was gonna say, I don't know if you can keep going. I might not be able to get out of my room after this.
No.
I won't fit through the door. No, I appreciate it, Tommy. Thank you very much.
No, we do. We enjoy watching you. Do you take pride in that? Because you can tell when you're hustling back there to get that puck in your own end, you're bound and determined that the pursuer is not going to get to that puck.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's something every defenseman should take pride in is the D zone. I think I've kind of always been taught that if you take care of your own end, the offense will come. So it's obviously something I try not to worry too much about, like statistics or points or any of that stuff. Just kind of playing a good, simple, clean game. And I definitely take pride in my D zone for sure.
Let me ask you about these last two games. They're never easy. You're going to go through stretches. I've been with this team 12 years, and you go through stretches where, you have your great games, you have your bad games. It was a tough week for us. I know Marty talked about, once we finished up all those road games we played early in the year, it was going to be nice to come home and take care of business. I know nobody was happy with, losing 3 out of 4 this week. Do you have can you put a finger on the pulse there? What's going on?
I think it's tough to kind of blame it on one thing. It's kind of a combination of things over the course of those few games we have played. Like you said, obviously no one's happy with how that this week went and how we played. And I think we all are grown men. We can acknowledge that, and we know that we have better and we can be better. So I think it's just a matter of kind of getting that back on track and starting to trend in the right direction here going into the latter part of the season.
Yeah, and some big games coming up. Obviously, the team or one of the teams we're chasing in the standing is Wichita. They kind of took it to us last week when they were here on a Tuesday, but we get 3 shots at them this weekend. How much are you guys thinking about that? And just paybacks are hell.
Yeah, I mean, I think trying not to get ahead of ourselves. We got Tulsa here first, but then definitely going into the weekend, that's a huge 3 games against Wichita. I mean, like you said, they came into our barn last week there and took it to us a little bit. So I think a bounce back is something that we all can expect and that we all are looking to do. I think we need to just kind of play a bit of a tougher game, maybe win a few more battles and win some of those battles kind of in the nitty gritty areas around the net, in the slot, things like that. Just make sure that we're taking care of the game rather than waiting for it to come to us.
Doesn't it seem like this year, Ben, more than ever, that it seems like every time we get somebody back in the lineup, somebody goes out? I mean, injuries, we know it's a COVID year, right? Nothing's normal. Yeah. But it seems like every time we get somebody back in the lineup, finally get Dyson back. Now LaBerge has been out for a bit. And, a lot of those key players who, like yourself, make those big defensive plays.
Yeah, I think it at times it can be challenging. I mean, we've had, like you said, a number of different guys kind of in and out on any given night this year. So, I mean, that it adds an extra kind of dimension to the challenge. But I think it's something that most hockey teams, if not all of them, kind of go throughout the course of the season. So I don't know if we're kind of hanging our hat on that excuse. I don't think that's obviously we don't want to do that, and you're never trying to make excuses. But I think it can be a little bit more challenging when you don't have a ton of time to make up that chemistry that maybe other teams who have been together kind of the whole year, whereas we have guys kind of going in and out every week or every weekend or even every couple of days. So it definitely does make it more challenging, but it's just something you got to overcome.
This series this past weekend, we're talking with Ben Carroll here, the last series against Utah. Wow, it turned out to be a pretty physical series, a lot of hitting, a lot of extra activity after the whistles. I saw 19 for them. He likes to talk a lot. So does 39, both Pare and I'm drawing a blank on the other guy's name. But regardless,
Hodgson is 39.
Yeah, Hodgson, correct.
Yeah.
Are you one of those guys? Do you give it back to him if somebody's chirping at you or they're trying to get under your skin? Do you give it back to them?
Oh yeah, I think if someone comes at me, I'm definitely not gonna back down at all. I don't know if I'm not kind of as forefront about it as a few other guys on our team, but I'm never gonna back down from that type of thing, and especially if they're giving it to someone else on the ice and they need a little bit of backup. Like, you know, every guy on our team is going to be the first guy there. So I think that kind of just comes with the game. You get into it, you get intense, and you get in the mix. So absolutely, I am.
Do you have fun out there watching Franklin play? Because it's funny. It doesn't matter. I mean, he's not what 5'9", 5'10", whatever.
Yep.
And he's going up against these guys 6'4", 6'5", never backs down, right up in their face. I mean, sometimes I just have to laugh up there because I'm sitting there thinking, you know, he doesn't get intimidated by anybody. And, I love the way he plays the game.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think as we were kind of talking about that last little bit, I was thinking about Frankie a little bit. So yeah, he's incredible. It's fun to watch, and it gives the bench a ton of energy too. You go out there and you see a guy who, like you said, he's a bit smaller, and he goes out there and just blows guys up. It's awesome. It adds a ton to our game, and like you said, he's not afraid of anything, and it's good to see. If I think if everyone kind of had that mentality where they're just going to go in, they know that they're not backing down, they're going to win those battles. I think that would definitely help, and we'd be that much further ahead. So I love the way Frankie plays. He goes out there and he gives it everything he has every shift. So like you said, he definitely battles for us.
Seems here lately we're seeing a lot of guys from the University of Alberta on this roster. You liking that a little bit? I mean, Lowry comes in, Chad Butcher. Of course, you played with Lowry. Is that fun when you're seeing all these guys? From juniors coming and joining St. Allen?
Oh yeah, it's definitely nice. Obviously it adds a little bit of comfortability. You can kind of hang out with those guys, and you have that base where you were obviously buddies before. Like I played with Steve for 3.5 years at school there, and Butch for a couple as well. So both of those guys are good friends of mine, and like you said, it makes it easy for them to kind of transition in here and feel at home right away, where they have kind of some common ground between me and the team and everything like that. So it's definitely good to see, and I think I'd pick any player from the U of A to come here, and I think they would succeed. So it's definitely good to see.
Absolutely. Well, Ben, thanks for doing this, man. First of all,
Yep.
again, we appreciate your work on the ice. It doesn't go unnoticed. If your family's listening, they're probably thinking, "Oh man, they love Ben." We do.
Yeah,
We appreciate.
I've definitely got a couple texts after the game saying that you're pumping it up a little bit, so I appreciate that.
No, absolutely. Keep doing what you do. It definitely we need guys like you out there on the ice that are always willing to put body first. Whether it's to make a great defensive play, block a shot, whatever. You do a great job, and let's get some big points this weekend. We need them.
Yeah, thank you. I'm looking forward to the weekend.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, the Red, White, and You podcast. There he is. Look at the hat. Look at the great beard. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Ben Carroll. Thanks, Ben.
Thank you.